Okay, I will call to order this meeting of the Somerset Berkeley Regional School Committee at 6:03 p.m. Due notice having been posted. Pursuant to the open meeting law, any person may make an audio or video recording of this public meeting or may transmit the meeting through any medium. Attendees are therefore advised that such recordings or transmissions may be made whether perceived or unperceived by those present and are deemed acknowledged and permissible. We'll do a roll call of members present. Ms. Ferreira?
Present.
Ms. Ashley?
Present.
Ms. Corville?
Present.
Mr. Pasternak?
Present.
Mr. Borges?
Present.
And the chair is present. Also with us this evening are our principal, Dr. Susan Brailsford, our Director of Curriculum, Elizabeth Haskell, our Chief Financial Officer, Raquel Pellerin, and our Recording Secretary, Robin Vaccaro. Would you please rise for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. Please note that the next regularly scheduled meeting of this body will be held on Tuesday, October 21st, 2025 at 6 p.m. here in the Somerset Berkeley Regional High School Library. The first item on the agenda for this evening under student teaching and learning is a report from our student representative, Mr. Borges.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's great to be back. My voice is a little gone from cheering at football and volleyball, so I'll make this brief. Me and Izzy are both very happy to be back, but unfortunately she cannot make it tonight. But we've talked very much about student advisory and this, and so we're excited for what the year has in store. The student body is also very excited to be back. Our class election ballots open tomorrow morning. I'm thrilled to see who our student body elects to represent their grade. Our sports team have had a very strong start to the beginning of the year. We hope football can secure their first win this Friday in Malden. Other than that, I've met one student who's not rested and excited for the school year to come. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The next item on the agenda is a recognition of our HOSA Leadership Conference Outstanding Achievement Award recipient. So I'm going to ask Julie Morera to come forward. Come on down. We're going to stand. We want you on camera while we honor you. What's that? I know, right? Okay. So give us a moment. Oh, thank you. Okay. Ms. Morera. Today it is our honor to recognize an exceptional student from Somerset Berkeley High School, Julia Morera, for her outstanding achievement at the HOSA Leadership Conference in June of 2025. Julia placed in the top 30 internationally, an incredible achievement that speaks volumes about her talent, dedication, and perseverance. The field of physical therapy is known for its rigor and complexity, demanding not only deep knowledge, but also practical skills and compassionate patient care. Julia's determination to advance to round 2 of the competition, where she had the unique opportunity to work with a real-time patient, showcases her readiness to face these challenges head-on. Her ability to apply what she's learned in a live clinical setting is truly commendable and highlights her passion for making a difference in people's lives. Somerset Berkeley Regional High School is immensely proud of Julia's hard work and resilience. She set a shining example of what dedication and commitment can achieve, and we all look forward to seeing the incredible impact that she will make in the future of physical therapy and healthcare. Please join me in congratulating Julia Morera on this remarkable achievement. Something for you, but I also want to invite Ms. Littlefield down and Dr. Brailsford. And I think we might have proud parents here as well.
There we go. Okay.
All right, why don't you come on down here? So, congratulations. Great job. Thank you for representing us so well. Very proud of you. I'm going to take some pictures. Oh, thank you. I'm sorry. think we should have mom, is that mom and dad? They should definitely come on down. Thank you.
Congratulations.
And I think on behalf of the committee, we also want to make sure that we recognize Ms. Littlefield for guiding these students through this organization. This does not happen without your commitment and your dedication to our students, so thank you very much for that.
Thank you. Okay. Bye-bye, thank you. Oops. I used to work with her. Oh, yeah. Which one? When I was a student.
The next item on the agenda is to discuss and act on the revision to the 2025-2026 Student and Family Handbook. And just to remind folks, there was one change after our last meeting that was added, which was based on the recommendations of MASC to address a recent Supreme Court ruling. That is the only change. Am I right, Dr. Brailsford? So I don't know, does anyone have any questions on the change?
Just to clarify, that was the one on page 89 that I read, highlighted.
It's, I have to check the page number.
I think it says it right on the thing, page 89, I think he's correct.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, the highlighted language from MASC. If there are no questions, I would entertain a motion to approve the revision to the 2025-26 Student and Family Handbook as presented.
So moved. Second.
A motion by Ms. Ashley and seconded by Ms. Corville. Is there anything further on discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So voted. Thank you. The next item on the agenda under the superintendent's report is Dr. Schoonover provided us with some updated enrollment numbers. I think as late as this afternoon. I don't know if anyone has, we could have further discussion on that one at our next meeting, but does anyone have any questions? Or comments? We can see a very slight decline from last year compared to this year, but relatively steady. Okay. The next item on the agenda are staffing updates that were provided by the superintendent. I have a motion to just receive those and place on file.
Yeah, so moved. Second.
Motion by Ms. Ferrer, seconded by Ms. Corville. Anything further on discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, so voted. The next item on the agenda is to consider and act on appointing a voting delegate for the resolutions at the annual MASC Joint Conference. I would suggest we table this item until we have a clearer picture of exactly who is going to be attending the conference.
Make a motion to table it.
Second.
Okay, motion to table by Mr. Pasternak and seconded by Ms. Ashley. Anything further? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, so voted. Okay, the next item on the agenda is an update on the annual building and facilities inspection. The committee met on August 27th. They really want us out of here fast tonight.
Okay.
We're just going to pause to see if we can get the lighting.
Oh, Mike, yes. I was like, who else was going to?
Thank you. The committee met on August 27th for the annual building and facilities inspection. Present at that meeting were myself, Ms. Ferrera, Ms. Ashley, and Mr. Pasternak. We toured the inside of the building, but we focused most of our attention on the improvements to the baseball and softball fields, the practice field, and the turf, which I think we're all happy to say is being used.
Yes.
Does anyone want to comment on the annual inspection?
Sure. I just want to say, we were here after the first day of school. So this building had been in use, and as always, it was in perfect condition, as it always is. The custodial staff always does an amazing job to be keeping up, especially, I mean, there was still stuff going on while we were walking through. So I want to give kudos to our custodial staff because they always do an amazing job, so.
Yep, and just to piggyback on that, you know, and I think we all have some awareness of this, whether we have kids in the district or, you know, we just know of kids participating in programs that are physically housed in this building. It goes all summer long. My own child attended the Kids Summer Learning Program, for example, that goes right up and until, you know, like through the first week of August. And then there were still programs running after that. So the fact that the custodial staff can work around those programs and be flexible and still make sure that the building is ready to reopen the school year, even though the building never physically closed, right? I think that's tremendous. Something that, you know, we just have to keep in mind is the staffing level and to be able to maintain this. So, because I know, and I'll talk about this when we get to the Somerset update, but something that we heard from the custodial staff at the K-8, pre-K through 8 level, was that they're feeling stressed. So I think that, I personally think that we should just keep this in the forefront of our minds when we come to budget season again. And that's that.
And I just wanted to add to that, you know, the field looks great. I was at my son's football game this past Friday and got a lot of compliments from the parents, you know, the field itself, not me, but they were very happy with the field, how it looked, and you know, it's nice to have it looking very refreshed out there because it was getting pretty abysmal. And unbeknownst to me, I was glad of the discussion we had with the custodial staff because I was not aware of, you know, some of these, call them, I guess, unauthorized uses of the field and the damage that has been incurred in the past with them moving nets around that people shouldn't be moving around and trash being left, so I found that very informative from them. Thank you.
I think I would just add to Mr. Pasternak, and this is really more for the benefit of the public who may be watching this. I think the committee in the entire district is extremely appreciative of the investment that both communities have made in the campus, starting obviously with the construction of this school, the maintenance of the school, and then the turf, the fields. We want to make sure that our students have access to the quality, and our faculty and our coaches have access to a quality facility that they deserve. And we're very appreciative to the community for supporting that. We're happy that we did not have to go back to either town to ask for additional funds to complete these relatively significant capital improvements. And we would respectfully ask that the community adhere to the district's policies when it comes to the use of facilities and be mindful that in order to preserve that significant investment and be good stewards of that investment, that we need the public to cooperate by adhering to the signage and the appropriate use. So there's a permit process to use the facilities, and we respectfully ask that folks adhere to that. We have some great relationships with some community organizations that do precisely that, and we want to be able to continue to do that. We also need to protect and preserve that investment so that we can maximize that on behalf of our students and our taxpayers. So, and if there are questions about appropriate use of those facilities, they should be directed to the superintendent's office. Anything else on that?
No.
Great. Just, again, very grateful for the maintenance and custodial staff. They are tremendous. This place still looks new after 12 years. 13, going on 13? Okay. The next item on the agenda under business and financial is an update on the 24-25 and the 25-26 budgets. Ms. Bellerin.
I do want to apologize that we did get the FY '25 update to the committee this morning. We are working with our treasurer to make sure we get the most up-to-date information as we work to close out the fiscal year. Right now, we're trending with about $664,000 left as a balance in expenditures. Our encumbrances are still at $50,000. Again, we're confirming that everything has been received by June 30th and actively getting those bills in. As you know, in our previous meeting, we talked about the need to make sure that we're closing out all our federal grants and all our state mandated spending, so we made sure that we accounted for that, and we did report out to the committee on the work we had done there. In a regional school district, unlike a non-regional school district, we also have to take into account revenue. So we're trending about $27,000 under budget on the revenue side. So we're looking to net that out. We will come back at the next meeting with a full review of the fiscal year. We're filing our end of year report. We did get an extension to the end of October, so the next meeting will fit in nicely in how we're ending the fiscal year. A couple of things that we do have to take into account. You have the ability to prepay special education, which will give you a final figure at the next meeting. Also, we're looking at our excess and deficiency dollars. So we're at about, I did give a trend on how we were trending. We're at about, well, a little over $1 million, and so $1,035,000. Our 5% of budget gets us to $1,081,000. So you do have the flexibility to be able to add a little more to excess and deficiencies. I also provided the balance for our stabilization funds. We want to give you a full breakdown of the anticipated expenses for those stabilization funds as well. That'll give you a good picture at the next meeting to be able to make those decisions. As you go throughout 26 and you have make any decisions that you want to transfer any money into the stabilization or going into the 27 budget, that's something that we can discuss moving money up there to be able to move forward with any capital projects that are necessary. When we look at the 26 budget, we are working on our teacher last payroll, which was teacher first payroll, September 12th. So at this point, we're making sure that because we operate on two systems, we're reconciling, and we will have our encumbrances ready for the next meeting, which will give you an idea of what we look like with full encumbrances for our compensation. The plan at that point is to, in November, to go forward with our first budget amendments, and we will have a much better idea on how our grant applications are going as well.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions? No? Okay. The next item on the agenda under business and financial is to discuss and act on non-union personnel hourly rates, including special education van drivers, crossing guards, hall monitors, lunchroom supervisors, non-union cafeteria workers, and substitutes. And you have that spreadsheet in your folder. Does anyone have any questions? If there are none, I would entertain a motion to approve the non-union personnel hourly rates as noted on the spreadsheet from Dr. Schoonover and Ms. Pellerin.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Ashley and seconded by Ms. Corville. Anything further on discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So voted. The next item on the agenda under policy is a report from the policy subcommittee. Who wants to deliver that?
Yeah, sure, why not? We actually just met before this. We actually have another meeting, a joint meeting next week with K through 8, because there are a couple of new policy, small changes from MASC. So we'll have more for us next month. I think the only thing we really talked about was there was a little bit of a change to the handbook, which in turn made us have to go back and just tweak the policy so they match, and those will be on next month's agenda for us to review for first reading.
Okay, so next on the agenda, we have policies for a second reading. If we can take them as a slate, I would entertain a motion to approve the following policies. School attendance and extracurriculars, policy JH. Promotion and retention of students, policy IKE. Commencement exercise participation, policy IKF. And background checks, policy ADDA.
So moved.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
I have a motion by Ms. Ferrera. Do I have a second? Seconded by Ms. Corville. Anything on discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So voted. Next, I would entertain a motion to approve the facility rental fee schedule revisions as presented.
So moved.
Second?
Motion by Ms. Ferrera and seconded by Ms. Ashley. Is there anything on discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So voted. The next item on the agenda updates. Ms. Solomon is not present, and I don't know what's happening in Berkeley. So I assume no news is good news. Do we have an update from Somerset?
Sure. Do you mind if I do it today?
Sure,
Ms.
go ahead.
Corville, or are you? Okay. We had our report back from the administration on the opening of the new school year. This is not an exact quote, but I believe Dr. Schoonover said like the best opening yet was the gist of the story, so that's always good. I remember last year we had like a minor bus accident on the first day of school.
Yes.
So like, as long as we don't have anything like that happening, I think we're winning, right? There's no safety concerns, so that's always a good thing. We talked about our enrollment, just like we did here at the Region tonight. We also talked about some great news that we received the PRISM 2 grant. And as part of that, we'll be getting to pilot some new reading curriculum for the elementary level, and there will be a lot of professional development invested in that grant as well. And then ultimately, we'll have a new literacy program at the end of that process, so that's very exciting for us. As you know, money is hard to come by these days, so. We had an introduction to our new South Elementary School principal, Mr. Matt Talbot, and the assistant principal is also new. Angie, I don't think I wrote down her name. Fenton, Angie Fenton, thank you very much. So they seem like a dynamic duo, and I know that South is in good hands, so we feel good about that. We approved our elementary handbook and our middle school handbook. And we talked about, we had received the financial update from the 24-25 and 25-26 school years. We talked about our building walkthroughs, which are a little bit more in-depth than, our discussion at the high school, because as you know, we have a lot of capital improvements needing to be done in our elementary buildings. And we also talked about, and I wanted to make sure I mentioned this, we also talked about having a retreat as a committee. And I think that this committee had a retreat at some point a few years ago. So Ms. Andrews, if you don't mind, I'll sidebar with you after a meeting, and we can talk about what your retreat looked like, because I was appointed to be in charge of the retreat since it was my idea. That's how things go, right? So anyway, so I would appreciate any insight that you have. And that's pretty much what I have from our.
Great, thank you. Okay, next on the agenda, we have topics not anticipated by the chair. I have none. Next on the agenda, action items for future meetings. the appointment for MASC, which we tabled, we'll move to the next meeting. Anything else? Okay.
I'm sure we'll have some policy stats back up.
Okay. Next on the agenda is to consider approval of the open session minutes of August 19th, 2025, joint open session minutes of August 19th, 2025, and to consider approval of and to release, redact, or withhold the joint executive session minutes of August 19th, 2025. So there's 3 sets of minutes. Has everyone had an opportunity to to review? Okay. Why don't we break this into the open session minutes first? So I would entertain a motion to approve the open session minutes of August 19th, 2025, and the joint open session minutes of August 19th, 2025 as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Ferrer and seconded by Ms. Corville. Anything further on discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So voted. And next, I would entertain a motion to approve and release with redactions the August 19th, 2025 joint executive session minutes as presented.
So moved.
Second?
Motion by Ms. Ferrera, seconded by Mr. Pasternak. Anything further on discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
So voted. And next on the agenda, we have public input. Do we have anyone for public input? Okay. Well, in that case, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Motion by Ms. Ferrer and seconded by Ms. Ashley. Everyone in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So voted. Great. Thank you, everyone.